George Niang is here with us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, how was your hearing after all that noise last night?
Oh my God, it's one of the best feelings to wake up to.
Right, ringing ears.
Yeah, exactly. That place was electric last night. The energy in there was unreal. I didn't feel it from my living room couch, but I felt it from the sideline.
Were your seats better than mine?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Was Mac sitting behind you, by the way, Mac McClung?
Yeah, the slam dunk champion.
Yes.
Actually, not just Mac McClung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, when you introduce, like when you have to call somebody Lord, you have to put that in front.
It was a crazy game last night. I didn't walk in until the first quarter, and you guys were down at that point. You know, it was like 24-12, I think, at that point. And during the game, basically all the way up until the fourth quarter, it seemed like, okay, this is just going to be one of those games where, maybe we just came out a little bit rusty. I heard that Joel was a little bit under the weather. It seemed like a lot of the shots that you guys were taking just weren't falling, right?
Yeah.
And some of the shots that they were taking were falling.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was like, I can't believe that shot just went in on a bunch. Everybody with the exception of Ja. And I actually got to talk to Doc in the hallway. It's and you've been playing basketball your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's that type of game where you shrink the lead to like 5, 6, and then you lose it and it goes back to like 10 or 12, and then I just as a fan was like, okay, they're just not going to be able to get past that 6 points, right?
Yeah.
And then you did.
Yeah.
And then you did.
That's what I was like on the bench. I was like, we're doing it.
That's what makes it ultimately it's a great game, but it's so frustrating is that, you got that little margin. It's like, son of a bitch. But that also leads to some of the most dramatic, dynamic moments in sports.
Right. And in this city, people go crazy for them.
Yeah.
If you can perform in those small, finite moments, the city will build a statue of you.
But you've been, I mean, gosh, you've played thousands of basketball games in your life, and you can sort of meter your emotions and stuff, and I don't know how you meter your emotions in a game like last night.
Yeah.
I didn't do a very good job. Did you see the end of the game?
I did.
I
You got a little bit
cool.
chippy. I didn't think you lost your cool that bad.
No,
you just got the ball back.
Yeah, no, I just, in that environment, it's that crazy. Your emotions are running high. You don't want to back down from anybody.
How long does anger last for you? Is it like you get it out and it's over with?
Oh,
or?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I have to because I'm not athletically gifted to continue to keep thinking about it. And if I think about it, someone's scoring on me, Doc's yelling at me, I'm coming out of the game.
Wait, speaking of not being athletically gifted, I've heard two different stories as to why your nickname is the minivan. and one is that you're not quite a Ferrari. The other one, and this is a direct quote, because he's slow, unathletic, may not be the prettiest body on the NBA team,
Jesus.
but he's very efficient.
Who said that?
Who said
Welcome
that?
to the show.
Let's attribute it to Doc.
My mom says I'm built like Hercules, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the best looking boy out there.
Exactly. You're just big bone. No, so when I was in Utah, I had a chance to go up and dunk it at the end of the game, and I didn't, or it looked very bad. So in the locker room, they were like, oh, what was that? And I was like, listen, I'm not like a Ferrari like you guys. I'm more like a minivan. I need a couple laps around the block before I get to full speed. And then the sideline reporter, and she was like, the minivan, I love that. And then when I signed in Philly, I'm like, I should probably get rid of this minivan name because Philly fans are not forgiving when it comes to that.
You could have upgraded to a crossover.
Yeah, like a G-Wagon or something, but it never happened, so we're here.
So talking about emotions and keeping a level head, there was a horrible foul call towards the end of the game on I think it was called on Embiid.
Yeah, that push that the guy missed the layup, yeah.
He didn't push him.
They said he pushed him, so I guess he pushed him.
When you play the game, it's your livelihood.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to blame anything on referees and it's like, don't let the referee, dictate the outcome of a game. You want to play the game in such a way that it doesn't even matter. But when a call like that happens at a crucial part of the game with like virtually no time left, and it really could have an impact on the game. So do you even think about that, or do you talk about the previous 3 quarters where you could have done something about it?
I don't think we really think about that. I mean, there's losers really dwell on stuff like that.
I'm a loser.
Yeah. Not Casey, not you. Come on.
The guy asked you a question, so an incredible loser.
No, I mean, obviously in the moment, it's like you probably want to use some profane language but But I think the biggest thing is you just got to keep rolling with the punches. I mean, as you have seen with so many professional games, like 3 seconds is enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't dwell on what's happening. You got to focus on the now because these are professional athletes. They, some of the best, professional athletes you'll see in the world. And you got to just continue looking forward because eventually you can continue to give yourself an opportunity. And I'll tell a short story because I feel like it kind of fits into what you asked earlier. We were in the locker room and Doc was telling us how, Memphis feels comfortable. And, obviously when you're comfortable, it's easy to make shots. He was like, you get this game to 5 points and see how comfortable they get. And then you look at what happened last night.
Right.
I was in my car driving home. I'm like, that sucker was right.
Well, Tillman, for instance, had 2 wide open 3-point shots at the end of the game. He's one of the top 3-point shooters.
Desmond Bain.
Bain, not Tillman.
Yeah.
But Bain, he's like one of the top 3-point shooters in the game. He's like, I think he shoots like
45%.
Yeah. And he missed 2 wide open ones at the end of the game that would have tied it up for them.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah.
You mentioned about keeping a level head and what can happen in a matter of seconds. I think that basketball, more than any sport, uses the clock in a way to make things happen to where I've counted games out, done, over, and there's 5 seconds left and you can just change
The
it.
buzzer
like that.
beater.
It's unbelievable, man.
What about Case? Remind me the team that they played where the guy shot and the ball was still at the tip of his fingers and so they didn't count. And you
Oh
guys
my
won.
God, Brooklyn.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I was like, what just happened?
We made that like remarkable. I mean, obviously, when we played Brooklyn, it's a big game because you know why. But yeah, I remember sitting on the bench like, did we just blow this?
Yeah.
Can you tell? I mean, like you hear the buzzer, you see the light behind the backboard.
No, I have no clue.
Yeah,
But
it's live, and you're not watching the replays like we are, where there's a million replays.
yeah, you guys probably know at home before I do. But it's funny. Like you should just see like Joel's reaction when those things happen. He's pure comedy.
Well, it's funny to watch all the different reactions, but we were talking about like when a call's made against you, or do you believe in general everything evens out? So you're going to get some bad calls. You're going to.
yes.
I mean, do people sort of lip service say they believe that's the case but don't? I mean, have you ever encountered a situation where there was an aggressive slant against you guys? I can't imagine that would get by for too long. You know?
I mean, I don't think so. Maybe over the course of the game you feel that way, but then if you look at like the foul calls over the course of the season,
Right.
they even out. But no, I wouldn't say I feel like there's like kind of a slant with the officiating towards.
I mean,
it.
they would eventually. They're going to blow their gig if they're right. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see Philadelphia win. Come on, man.
Well, I know I sure as hell do. Listen, I loved at the end of the game last night when Tobias was fouled and dude takes the ball from him and you're like, no, give me the freaking ball. I love that. I love that attitude, and I love that you guys fight for each other like that. I thought it was great. And I do think that this squad is like the Phillies were this summer, like the Eagles were this fall and winter. Like it's a really likable team.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, I think the biggest thing with us is bringing in a guy like P.J. Tucker. You bring that pit bull mentality, and I think he's kind of instilled that, in all of us. And that what better representation of Philadelphia than being a pit bull, right?
I hated that guy until he was a Sixer.
Me too.
You did as well.
George, what is it like being an athlete, a professional athlete in Philadelphia right now? Because, the Flyers are what they are, but the Flyers, I mean, the Sixers are doing really well. You guys won 5 games in a row. The Phil's coming off the World Series run, the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's got to be, from an insider's perspective, because as fans, obviously, we're loving it, but what's it like for you guys?
Yeah, thanks to the Phillies and Eagles, they're really putting a lot of pressure on. We just have to make it to the finals, right?
I don't want to leave the Union out because the Union has
Yes,
the season
they
opener
did too.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes. It's amazing, because there's a ton of energy and passion in the city. And, when I was in Utah, you weren't coming across, fans that, were passionate and telling you how much they love their team or how long they've had season tickets. And I'll be driving to the game and I'll see someone, walking from like Market Street. And I'm like, wow, that is a lot of passion to get to South Philly from Market Street for the people that live in Philadelphia. But, there's just a ton of energy in the city. And yes, there's a lot of pressure because, they are passionate about their sports team. So if you suck, they're going to let you know you suck.
Passionate. That's the word. Passionate.
Yeah. So, but I embrace it. I love it. You know, I'm a Northeast kid, so I kind of understand it. You know, blue collar, hard hat city. So you got to bring it every day, and I think that's something that I can provide. No prima donnas allowed in this city. that's for sure.
No, and that's we've said that years ago when we started doing this radio show. You can't act entitled to anything. If you show that you're putting in the effort and do it in as humble a way as you can, you'll be rewarded with loyalty like you can't imagine.
Yeah.
But you know that's all it's asked.
So did you grew up in Massachusetts? Did you grow up a Celtics fan?
No. Stop asking those questions.
Nice answer.
You're allowed. You know,
I'm going to walk out here and get hit by a car.
well, listen, you have them on Saturday night,
Yes.
and they're the top of the East right now, and they got a really, really good squad. So, you know, how do you approach that game?
You know, I think you just got to come in and try and impose your will. You know, obviously they've been the top of the East. They're the team that came out of the East last year. And you got to bring physicality, and I think we got to get the energy of the arena in it early. That's for sure.
George, you host a podcast called The Big Niang Theory.
I love it.
Which is
that.
a brilliant name, by the way. Did you come up with that?
No, I didn't.
There we go. Back
That's
there.
brilliant.
Yeah, Rob, credit to you on that one.
Do you like you seem like a natural on the mic? You enjoy doing that type of thing?
Oh, I love it. My mom told me when I was growing up, she's like, "You never stop talking." I was like, "This is gonna pay off."
And you're the best looking boy in the world.
Yes. I was an only child for like 11 years of my life.
Obviously, your eyes are on the game right now, but do you see past that and maybe getting on the mic? No, that'd be awesome, right?
Yeah, I would love to, you know, get into broadcasting, you know, if you let me come in and join your show. So, or radio, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like I have a passion for it. I mean, it's something that I enjoy doing. I like speaking. I like talking about sports or any other topic that comes across my mind. But I enjoy it. It's good. I mean, I definitely have an appreciation for all the research that you guys have to do. I thought you just came in here and talked. You actually have to know what the heck you're talking about.
Yes, or be able to fake it. You know a little about a lot and not a lot about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
George, I want to ask you, we talked about him a little bit before, but Mac McClung, because he's this G League player, and then all of a sudden, you know, he signs the contract with the NBA and gets to do the slam dunk contest. How well do you know him, and did you talk to him about that experience at all? Because it was kind of wild. And then he gets the trophy presented to him by Dr. J, and he's getting all these 50 scores. It was a really cool story.
No, so my obviously I had known of Mac McClung because, you know, as basketball players you watch like YouTube and you see this, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but this white kid that's just dunking everything and doing
A short white kid.
Yes, exactly, 6'3", at like and doing that at an elite level. So when I finally got to meet him, you know, last night, and you know we were just talking, and he was just saying how much of an unbelievable experience it was to be out there, and it was super cool. But at the end of the day, I don't think we should take away, like, if you look at Mac McClung's stats down in the G League, he's like averaging like a crap ton of points. He's shooting 50% from the field and 50% from three, and as a three-point shooter, I can appreciate that. I told him maybe he can just give me a little bit of his athletic ability.
Transfusion.
Yeah. How much do you love Bang Bang George Niang?
Oh, his favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it fits. And Kate Scott's the best. And when she says it, and sometimes when I get film from our guys, and I'll just play it over after I get
Where's your favorite spot to shoot from?
I would say probably one of the corners.
Yeah.
Maybe the right side. Me and Tobias and PJ Tucker fight over that spot because, you know, when Joel and James are playing that pick and roll, they have to help. So that's the spot that's coming for the shot. So if you see us like punching each other to get to that right corner, that's why.
So I did notice last night that you didn't get a whole lot of open looks. I thought the defense on Memphis was solid. I mean, Embiid had 27, which is a little bit below his average, but he fought for every single one of those points. They were pretty ferocious last night.
Yeah, you know, Memphis is a real gritty team. You know, and they came in and they have been struggling. They're missing their center Steven Adams, so they're fighting to win games to stay atop in the West. But, you know, I think the biggest thing we did last night that was huge for us is that we persevered. I mean, like you said, when you walked in and you're like, oh, it was 24-12, I was going to ask you, did you turn around and walk right back out?
No. You know how much my tickets cost, man?
Exactly. But we made it happen, and Memphis is a real gritty team, and I'm happy that we kept persevering and fighting through.
You know what's wild is as a season ticket holder, like, obviously the Sixers are my favorite team. Yeah. But it's the opposing team that really brings in the crowd as well. You know what I mean? If you
I
go
want to
and
see
like
a good game.
Yeah, they want to see a good game. So like last night, for as much as my son hates Ja, he wanted to see Ja play, you know, and he's
That's very Philly of him.
Yeah.
I want to see that prick.
Well, you play with Donovan, and that's my son's favorite player outside of the Sixers organization. He's a huge Spider fan, so you know, I mean, decent enough guy. That guy.
Yeah, no, he's great. Did you see how we beat him?
Yeah.
You know, before break. Yeah. Did your son like that?
He did, as a matter of fact.
George, speaking of the break, you know, you're coming out of the break and it's a sprint to the finish. There's a lot of games. All of those games matter. But did you get to do anything relaxing on the All-Star break? Did you go anywhere?
You know, this is my 7th year in the NBA, and I've been dumb enough to make the mistake to go to like Mexico and party and then come back for the last sprint and be exhausted. So this year I did the mature thing. I went home and I was in
There you go.
Massachusetts. I spent some time with my mom and literally slept till 11:30 every day.
Wow.
I was a real big
Did you
degenerate.
organize your Celtics paraphernalia?
I burned it, all right?
Hey, I wanted to ask you, obviously, there are a lot of big names on the team, and when you're playing for a successful team, and you get fans that come up and they tell you that you are their favorite player.
Yeah.
You know, that you're the one for whatever reason they gravitate towards. That's got to feel just wonderful.
No.
I mean, you know?
It's an amazing feeling, and to be appreciated. Like, you put a ton of work, and I'm sure like everybody does in their professional craft. You put a ton of work to be the best that you can be, not just for yourself, but also so that people can appreciate the things that you bring. And when someone says that, it's an amazing feeling.
I wanted to ask on the Big Yang Theory, besides sports, when you do go to other topics, what do you find yourself gravitating to? What do you like to talk about outside the realm of sports?
Ooh, that is a good question. You know, I think with the amount of money that professional athletes make, I've always been enticed by other people's like investments, what they get involved in. And me and Tobias have kind of gotten a bond. And if you guys don't know, but he's a big crumble cookie ambassador. That's right. And who loves cookies more than a minivan?
He brought him by.
Oh my God.
They're effing awesome.
They're so good.
But it's like trying to get into like a fine restaurant to get. Sometimes there are
There's
lines.
lines.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I feel like the oatmeal cookie is their best one.
Ooh.
It is.
Honestly, so Tobias will bring them to the plane, but he has this theory. He's like, he was like, every cookie, you don't have to have like 4 cookies. If you take the cookie and cut it in 4s, you can have 4 different cookies. I was like, you're up to something.
He's right. He's exactly right.
He came to our Camp Out for Hunger this year, and we do a food drive every year, and it's right across the street from the Wells Fargo Center. If you're in town in November this year, we'd love to have you stop by because it's a cool event.
Yeah.
But Tobias stopped by, and he's a really easy dude to talk to. He cares about this city, he cares about the community, and it's really nice to have athletes who love spending time in Philly, even when they're not playing for Philly or even when the season's over.
Yeah, Tobias is not only a crumble cookie ambassador, he's a Philadelphia ambassador. And I think that's what makes him unique is he's been here through a ton, right? He was here when Jimmy was here. You know, now he's here through James and Joel, and he really brings a ton of passion to this city, and he does things the right way. And there's something that needs to be said about guys that, you know, embrace the city and embrace their role on this team.
Real quick, if you don't mind, George, somebody wanted to say something to you. Got Chris on the line. Hey, Chris, real quick. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Usually I start with a dad joke, but I'll try and make this quick. George, I just want to say thank you. I took my 11-year-old son to his first Sixers game last week, I think it was, against the Magic. And we went down to the tunnel to try and get autographs. And no one was giving autographs, but you came up to my son and you signed his shoe.
Oh, wow.
And I just sent a picture to Nick, to his email. Of you signing his shoe. He didn't know what. He's like, what can he sign? I'm like, well, you're wearing your Jordans. Have him sign your Jordans.
Aw.
Wow, I just devalued those Jordans.
No, not to him. You didn't. Now you're his second favorite player behind Giannis. So.
Sign
I got
the
my
other
work
shirt.
cut out for me. That's awesome. That is awesome.
That's
no
awesome.
longer wearing them. He's no longer wearing them anymore because he thinks they're going to be worth money. He keeps looking up. He Googles how much are these Jordan 1s worth with this autograph.
Did it say like -$7?
You owe them.
That is cool, though.
Chris,
That's so
so cool.
awesome,
Thanks for the
Chris.
call, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bud.
Take the picture. Maybe.
Yeah,
No, we
he's
got it. He's looking at it
I
right
just
now.
saw it.
He's
That's
looking
awesome.
at it. Yeah.
You can see my bald spot from the angle.
You have a bald spot?
I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
As
it.
we were walking in here, I think I overheard you saying you wanted to sing for us in the studio. Is that what you're saying?
No. Casey, you know what? I agreed to do this, and now you're making me regret. No, okay.
Who was saying something about you singing? Was that Rob over there?
Oh, my God.
No?
Wait, do you sing?
In the shower.
Like everyone else.
Oh, yeah, I know the city.
All right.
great.
Well, listen, we appreciate you stopping by. You guys got the Heat on Monday.
They got
and-
the Celtics tomorrow.
Or the Celtics tomorrow. That's the next game. Yeah, you're right. So we'll keep doing what you're doing, man. Everybody's loving it. And we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us here.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
We'll
me.
talk to you soon. Gang, let's give it up for George. George Yang on the Preston and Steve Show.